Yeah, I was a bit of a late developer. I only lost my virginity last week.
But
Yeah.
I'll get a sound effect to make it a bit funnier. Sorry. Was it the Ospreys your first club? Or
Scarlets.
Scarlets, was it? Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, do your research, mate.
Wikipedia ain't trustworthy. What about Mike Phillips and Duffy, man? Like, where did that come, bro?
The speedboat offer one Christmas, which was nice.
Fucking hell.
Had to get her a dog in return.
The Central Club.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the Central Club. This episode is brought to you by Re-Inspire Printing and Boss Security. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the club, and hit the bell button to be notified of future content. Today, we've got a very special guest. It's our first rugby player in a long, long time. We were meant to get this man down a couple of months back, but he stood us up. What a shame. But the main important thing is he's here now with us. This man was a gifted Scrum-Half who represented both Wales and British Lions. He is super, super, super talented and super controversial. I welcome Mr. Mike Phillips.
How's it going?
What's going on, Mike?
Yeah, well, I didn't leave you down before, did I? I can't remember that.
Oh, fucking hell. Is he taking a piss?
Huh?
Huh?
When?
I was talking to you on the phone. I
do
can't
live in
make it.
Dubai, mind.
Yeah,
I live,
I
so
suppose
it's not down the road, is it?
Well, you did say it was in Cardiff and all that, and I was like proper planning and everything. I had the questions written out and everything. I was quite gutted, mate. I
Yeah.
thought, fuck this guy. Never
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. It's tough stuff.
He's so blasé, isn't he? No, listen, thank you for coming, mate. Thank you.
Always.
How are you?
Very good.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
in Dubai at the moment.
10 grand is 10 grand at the end of the day.
Yeah, don't tell people how much I pay for my guests. Fucking hell, I tell everyone I don't pay no guests. Fuck.
No, it's great to be here. It's great to be here.
No, it's nice. It's nice, mate. Honestly, you know, you've been someone you've been on the screens all my young adult life. Big fan of you, mate. You know what I mean?
You don't have to lie now. You don't have to lie.
No, I'm being deadly serious, mate. Honestly, like I'm big fan, mate. You know what I mean? Always got stuck in for Wales, didn't you? You was always there.
Tried,
Any little scrap, he was the first one in. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what I like.
Yeah, I think Sean Edwards used to say our aggression comes from our number 9. So I think a lot of emphasis was put on me, and obviously being different, sort of 6'3" Scrum-Half. So using my sort of physical attributes was probably the reason why I was in the team. So, but then obviously they used to sort of try and wind me up and get that. You know, I wanted to win so much, and I'm a competitor. So, yeah, they used to wind me up and sort of antagonize me a little bit. But for me to be like that on the pitch, I suppose. So, because you know, having a scrum half who could defend and sort of do that side of the game as well was massive for Wales, really, and you know how much influence you could have on the game. You know, not just with ball in hand, but without the ball. Like Sean used to say, it was a massive part of the game. So, yeah, my kind of they used to try and wind me up, and so and I used to bite really.
Well, I played rugby at a young age as well, and you know, you always want to protect the scrum half, wouldn't you? You might get the old doggy scrum half, but you protect them, like, because people would try and bully them in a way, like, and it was totally different with you, and I think that was fascinating to see. So, of course, you know, I can imagine, Sean, and I would tell you to take advantage of that, and it worked. Yeah,
I mean, I always wanted to be different as well. I think, you know, I sort of had a growth spurt, 16, 17, so I loved the position of scrum half. My brother played the position, so, you know, that was my dream. But obviously then people were telling me, oh, you're never going to make it, you're too tall. Which is ironic, really, in rugby, because, you know, there's no other position that you're too tall for, you know, it's like, so, but then I was just adamant that I knew I could make a difference and I could contribute to the team, and, and I suppose I did want to be different, you know, I wanted to be something different to what's been before. I know there was Terry Holmes and stuff, but, yeah, you know, you got the physical side as well as the skill side of passing, kicking, controlling the game. I just felt that, you know, I wanted to do everything, really.
Yeah, be an all-rounder. You have been, you know, likened to Terry Holmes quite a lot as well, haven't you? Was that a good thing growing up, being labelled, you know, as near as to him?
It's mad. I mean, Terry was obviously, he's a legend, but it's mad how you get pigeonholed straight off. You know, my first game in the Welsh jersey, you know, people say, "Oh, you're the next Terry Holmes," and it's kind of like, all right, but you know, they don't give you a chance.
Yeah.
So then they'd never give me the respect of having skills or being a great passer, or like, you know, it was like, oh, he's big, so he's physical and he's strong, and they would never give me compliments the other side. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit annoying, but yeah, I mean, Terry Holmes is an absolute legend of Cardiff and the Lions, and you know, so yeah, to be, you know, in the same breath as him is amazing. But you want to put your own stamp on the world, don't you? You know, I wanted to be my own scrum half really, and have my own sort of you know, destiny really in a way.
Well, I think that did come, you know, down the travels. Like, you know, I think maybe initially, oh, it's a new Teddy Holmes, like, but I think down the line, it's Mike Phillips now, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, hopefully, you know, you want to leave your mark, don't you, and leave the jersey in a better place, and hopefully I've done that, and yeah, inspired, you know, youngsters to play and to be different and to think outside the box, and yeah, hopefully, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the future of, well, the present and future of Welsh rugby a bit later down the line. But I think we go back to the past a bit first, and maybe, you know, where you're from and how, why did you choose rugby?
Yeah, I'm from a small village. I grew up on a dairy farm, so Dad was a farm. We had 100 cows. My mother was a school teacher, and the farm is sort of a mile from Bankerfelyn. Bankerfelyn is quite a well, in some ways we've produced 3 British Lions there. Bankerfelyn's the size of this room. It's very small, but we've had 3 British and Irish Lions, me, Jonathan Davis and Delmy Thomas. So a very small village. And my dad's claim to fame is that he played rugby with Delmy Thomas. And Delmy Thomas's claim to fame is that he played rugby with Mike Phillips' dad. So.
Yes.
But he's an absolute legend, and yeah, his picture was up in the wall in school in Bankerfelyn, and you know, yeah, I just remember being a young kid looking at his, you know, wearing the feathers and wanting to be on the wall as well. And then I went back to Bankerfelyn school a couple of months ago now, and walked in there, and I got emotional because Delmy's picture's there and I'm next to him. I started going. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, so that was upbringing, and that's sort of where I started playing rugby in Bankerfelyn, and played for Sinclair's, which is the next village down, and then Whitland Youth. So, you know, those 3 places are, you know, massive, huge, you know, I'm really grateful for, you know, the area where I'm from, and in particular those 3 places which developed me massively, you know, as a young kid, and you know, that's where I started playing rugby really.
Was you always a scrum half then? Because you talk about the size of you. You did have this growth spurt, but did you always want to be a scrum half?
Yeah, no, my brother played scrum half, so I always played scrum half for club, and then I was flanker for school. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was a bit of a late developer. Only lost my virginity last week, but
I'll get a sound effect to make it a bit funnier. Sorry.
no, so yeah, a bit of a late developer, but then it was all about proving people wrong then, really,
Yeah.
and having a dream, and it was my dream to play for Wales, and you know, it's no one should ever stop you, you know, doing what you want to do.
I think it's fascinating because, you know, when you come from a small town or a small village, it's not I don't know how to put it, but it can be very hard sometimes to think you're going to get out of that. But to have 2 or 3, you know, predecessors, or you said it was the one at the time, to coming out there, I'm sure that was a big possibility for you that, oh, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, I wasn't great in school. I grew up on a dairy farm, didn't like farming. You know, I wasn't particularly great, so I had to make it in rugby.
When you say you didn't like school, or just didn't engage, like, was it a bit of a naughty kid? Like,
No, I was a perfect kid. No, I was perfect. I never just wasn't particularly great.
just lack of concentration, is it?
No, I concentrated. I was listening, but I wasn't good. I'm an August, so my birthday's end of August. So
Me too.
I think it was tough for me, really. I think I needed that extra year, really. But
What are you saying? Because you was like one of the youngest of.
yeah.
Yeah, me
so,
too.
So it's tough, and yeah, I just didn't like school then. Well, I liked school, but it wasn't particularly great. But then, rugby was my sort of. I knew that this was my chance to make something of myself,
Yeah.
and I had to make it rather than, that's why I played, and that's why I was so narky on the pitch, was because, I really wanted to be something in life and sort of be success. So, there's nothing to fall back on. It was everything. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, it was all in like.
yeah.
No other sports at the time as well. Then is it? Because I think down west it's rugby, isn't it?
Cricket was massive in the summer, so it was always cricket in the summer, and then just cricket in the summer, rugby in the winter, bit of football, but yeah, mainly rugby and cricket really.
And your first break was that semi-pro going to like the Ospreys and stuff. Was it the Ospreys your first club or
Scarlets.
Scarlets was it? Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do your research, mate.
Wikipedia ain't trustworthy. No, yeah, so it was the Scarlets was your first kind of your breakthrough then. So you must have been over the moon then when you knew you was kind of given that contract.
Yeah, my so the Scarlets, being from West, so the Scarlets was the team I always sort of supported as a young kid. Used to wear the jersey, Fridays in school. So that was the team I supported, and then it was tough for me to get noticed. Eventually, I was playing Whitland Youth for 3 years, and then eventually got asked to go to Llanelli in the 21s, which then was a big break for me. And then I could see actually, there's a path here. Now this is where I can, actually, go on from here. So getting there was a struggle, and but when I got there, it was amazing. And then signed my first contract, 10 grand a year. So it was,
That's 10 grand, eh?
that's gone now. That 10 grand.
What who was your heroes growing up?
Rugby wise, it was Juice van der Vestes and Scrum-Half for South Africa. I suppose my brother played. I got 2 older brothers, so I got to say them as well. I was a young. I'm 8-9 years younger than them, so I always looked up to my 2 brothers. But rugby terms would have been Juice van der Vestes because he was a tall scrum half, and he was something different, aggressive, strong, and just smashing people. So it was good.
So Dwayne Peel.
Who's that?
No, but like was any Llanelli lads that you kind of like the Quinnells and that? Like I know they're not your position, but was you fans and could you pay respect to these other kind of positions? Or
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I loved the Scarlets. So yeah, it was probably Ian Evans, Rupert Moon, that kind of
Legends.
era. Them beating Australia. I remember watching that game.
yeah, massive. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of that era really. Perigo was back row. And to eventually play with Scott was immense as well. But absolute beast he was.
He's a machine, isn't he? I've took a few hits off him on the hard knocks, mate. He's a fucking beast, isn't he?
Yeah.
What I think is, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like your era of Welsh rugby was like the most glamorous it ever was. Would you agree with that? In the sense where I just felt like it was the be all and end all at that time. I know we had like during the 90s we weren't as great. Like when I interviewed Jenkins and he said, "Look, I wouldn't have chosen another era to play in." Although it was great, the Gatland eras and stuff, but I just feel it was a special time when you guys played.
Yeah.
What was it like, getting your first cap?
I think it was special. I think you had characters as well, like Gavin Ensign. Like I don't think people really appreciate how amazing that guy was. I mean, as a character as well. I mean, you couldn't, he was going out with a famous girlfriend, and he had all the, he drew people in. Do you know what I mean? And what a talent as well. But yeah, it was good characters when I played, and I guess coming into the team as a youngster in Scarlets, huge characters in the change rooms like Lee Davis and Chris Wyatt and these type of characters, amazing people and larger than life sort of guys. And yeah, I was very lucky really to have played when I did and to have had the experiences. And, like I say, I think maybe that character's kind of gone from the game a little bit now. And I think it's a bit stale in some ways, but yeah, very lucky looking back.
Yeah, when I look at it now, like I say it quite a lot. And I seen it on a podcast. I think he was on a Marla podcast, and I think it was Eddie Hearn saying, like, if I think of a rugby player now, I just think of like this private school kind of toffee kind of character, like, and you don't get that grit anymore, like, though that the larger than life.
Yeah, and he also said there's no heroes in the game, and I think it doesn't seem to be. There's obviously a few massive names out there, but we need to create bigger.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's important to create those heroes, and to give kids, people to look
Role
up
models,
to.
yeah, I wanna be
obviously
like
they're doing great, but I don't know, make them larger than life, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's I've got no clue, but everyone's a bit safe for what they say now, and I suppose
Too PC.
Yeah, you can. I think players probably go into the shell a bit. I think it was great that Netflix covered the last Six Nations. The more exposure you can get, it's massive, and that's what makes you. So Netflix coming in there, making the boys larger than life. I mean, you look at Living with the Lions DVDs, and people love the behind the scenes, and it just makes the game bigger, makes the players bigger, makes the game bigger, and that's what we need, really.
What was the Six Nations? You've won a few Six Nations with the boys. What was your most memorable win? Would it have been one of those Grand Slams?
Yeah, I think the Grand Slams are obviously amazing, but I think the 2013 against England, we beat them by 30 odd points. That was
the Cuthbert and the Sam Wilbur, the George North tries.
Yeah. I mean, to be on the pitch with 15 minutes left and you're gonna win. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, especially against a big team. That was epic.
Yeah.
So that was, and then atmosphere was something else, and especially against England.
Yeah.
So
brilliant.
And we pumped them. So yeah, I was pretty hyped for that one.
What was it like after? What was the celebrations like? Because I know you.
I can't remember.
Your antics off the pitch.
I didn't go out that night. No, what wound me up was the week before against Italy. I was in my house. We beaten Scotland, and I'm watching England versus Italy, and England were winning by about 6 points or something like that. It was a close game, and then they were already talking about the Grand Slam decider next week in Cardiff, and this was winding me up now because I was like, "Hang on, boys, you haven't beaten Italy yet. Like you're already talking about next week." So from there, I was like, just had something in my head.
Was it Brian Moore and I talking?
Oh, it's just
absolute rubbish.
Did my head in, and then I just had something in me, and just epic day. Epic.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where I go with like the English. Like everyone hates England in rugby, like everyone. I think there was that Six Nations advert a couple of years ago. Winning, who do you want? Like it was, who do you want to see get beat? And it was always England. And I found growing up a big part of that was kind of the fan base and the team. They feel that like, they think they're better than people. But I feel like that is passed over into Welsh rugby quite a lot. That way of like, if you don't fit this kind of molded person, this molded character, and you say this and you don't toe the line, then you're not getting in the team. Like when was the last time we had someone in a Welsh team who is a bit of like, one of the lads from the council estate who will have a fucking bit of that? We don't get that no more, do we?
Yeah, you got to be white and white now.
Well, it don't matter. You could be from a dairy farm, but you still fucking game though. When it's not like you toed the line.
Yeah. I don't think they make them like me anymore. But yeah, no, I mean England though. I mean, I love England. I mean, I never lost in Twickenham, so beat them 7 times.
That's unbelievable.
Not really. They're not very good.
No, I know. If we give them real credit, though, like if you look at, they are World Cup winners.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. No, I mean
they're not shit.
No, but I played in Sale my last year, and lovely people in Manchester. Absolutely, love them to bits. It was such a warm place. It's just that Twickenham place is a bit dodgy, innit?
Yeah.
But the rest of England's all right, actually.
Yeah, you went over to France to play as well. What was that like going over to France? Because it was kind of like the in thing during your time, wasn't it, to get over there? And if you was playing for one of those teams, you would...
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense actually, because which a bit why I don't really understand what's going on now. But I'd been in Wales for 9 years or whatever, so it made sense. I was probably at the peak earnings, and I was being able to go and play in France, be paid by them, but still play for Wales. So it kind of made sense, and obviously then that was going to free up, more money and a spot for a youngster coming through here. So it kind of made sense in some ways, which I don't really. I get all this stoppage of players going away, but I think we need to utilise everything we can. But I loved it. It was after the 2011 World Cup. Played for Bayonne. In the south of France. I lived in Biarritz by the beach.
Beautiful.
I didn't realise how big rugby was and how many people would recognise me, but rugby.
King of the South, was you?
Rugby, yeah, well, just got into a bit of trouble over there.
Well, you got suspended, didn't you? Over there?
Yeah, I got sacked in the end, yeah.
Yeah, what can you tell us what happened?
We were doing poorly as a team, and I think... I was to blame then, but I was away a lot, and I think, that was it really.
When you say you was away a lot, like elaborate for us, please.
No, I was playing for Wales, so I was back and forth,
okay.
and I think the season before they wanted to re-sign me, and then we had a poor season after, and over there, unlike over here where we adore foreigners when they come and play, over there it's like it's the opposite. So as a foreigner going there, you're expected to win the game.
Yeah, held accountable. Yeah,
you're expected to win the game for them. And yeah, so respect that. But the team was poor, and yeah, they just moved me on then. But
did you go to Racing Metro straight from there, or was that a bit of a separate time? Or
yeah, straight there. I didn't have a club for a bit.
He was jobless.
Played for Wales. I remember playing for Wales against Argentina, and you got your match day program, and you got
the club.
I had no club, and so I was like, after the boys, look, I'm not good. I don't need a club. I can still play for Wales.
It's fascinating, isn't it? There's not many people who have that, do they?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's done that, have they?
He loves it, don't he?
No, but yeah, Racing came calling in, thankfully, and yeah, that was amazing.
Was you still residing in the south of France during that time? Did you think I might as well stay here, or did you go back? Because obviously playing for Wales.
No, as it happened, it was the autumn series, and then played that. Fair play to Gats. He just said, get your head down and just crack on, and he was really supportive and stuff, and then managed to get a club then. So
yeah,
went to Paris.
So you obviously, I wouldn't say hard to control, but obviously there are things that you like to do. Why do you think it works so well with Gatland?
Oh, Gats is old school. You know what I mean? He's rugby's a tough game. It's about having characters and big characters, and you're putting your body on the line. Gats loved it. Gats was, when he first came in, he was all for boys going out, enjoying themselves, and he loved it. But there was also a work ethic side to it, where we were working our ass off, constantly, and pushing ourselves to the limits. And you have to blow off steam. Do you know what I mean? You have to, go out and have a few beers together, and that's a massive part of it. Like, I think we were most successful when we did that as a group, and they would be all of us, and like physios, doctors, players. I think that's you're like a family, and that's why you fight for each other and you leave it all on the pitch, and those are the moments which make you really.
Do you think that's kind of what might be deteriorating in the sports now, that probably makes it more drier in the sense of?
Yeah, I suppose you've got to be careful, but you choose your moments. I didn't do that very well as a youngster, but you got to. But those moments you get together and you get a few beers and let your hair down, that's where you grow as a team, and I think it's so valuable, because that's when you see, you want to help your mates and all that character building, and it's massive.
Yeah. British Lions call up. I've watched a few documentaries on the Lions. The South Africa tour, unbelievable. Have you got any moments that you could share from some of your tours you've done with the Lions?
Well, I kind of picked myself for the Lions. I had a bit of an argument with Rob Howley in training, and he basically made a comment to me after one session, and I disagreed with it, and I told him where to go, and then he's trying to message me then on the phone, and I wasn't picking up. I said, I'll speak to you Monday. So I'm in the office with him, and he's like, oh, look, we're only trying to get the best of you. You're going to go on the Lions. I said, fucking right, I'm going on the Lions. Who else is going? So that's how I found out I was going on the Lions, but I kind of picked myself.
What did he say originally, like, for you to have this kind of fallout with him?
I disagreed with his comment, basically.
On what?
And I told him where to go. It didn't make sense because he wanted me to get to every breakdown on the field. So basically, wide breakdown. I pushed Steve to 9. I filled in at 9, and then slot back into our roles. So he had to go with me for that, which I completely disagree with because it's not efficient. And yeah, that was in my head. So we argued about that. Basically, that's all it was. Yeah. But then, I was just gone. I was just ripping into him.
Yeah. Go into the Lions, obviously. Let's talk about the first time you went. What's it like getting to meet with these lads you've played against for, X amount of years, when it's Ireland and the Six Nations? You've had a few run-ins with some of them, the English players. What was it like, coming together with them? All good, or was there some kind of egos fluttering around? Normally, when I look at the Lions, I always see that it's always a strong kind of unit, but was that like that for you as well?
Yeah, I think 2009, the best way to get on with someone is, get the boys in a bar and get some alcohol in there and just, we just let rip, and, that's the best way to get to know people. So that's what we did, and Gats brought an old school kind of value to it. You stick in Andy Powell in there as well, and that's a lot of fun. And then, everyone egos go to the side. I roomed with Ronan O'Gara first up, so we had some run-ins over the years, but we were like best mates then straight off, and he was gambling on his horses and all that stuff in the room, but just what a character. And yeah, Paul O'Connell was captain. Epic. When he speaks, like, it's just awesome. But yeah, a lot of good characters, and like I said, I think Gats, to be fair, was encouraging us to have a few beers,
to enjoy
midweek and get to know each other, and that's where you want to, that's where people leave their hair down. You get to know people, and you want to fight for that person next to you. Then you really want to, you get to know them, and you want to, it's about dying for that person, really.
You've again, I've said it many times, but like, I watched the reel this morning of you, and like, it's like called Mike Phillips shithousery, and like, normally they'll show you a couple of like run-ins they have, in their career. It went on for 45 minutes.
Did it?
And it was like, 10-second clip here, 10-second clip here, 45 minutes, mate. There must have been about fucking 500 incidents. Is it like, obviously now you couldn't get away with most of that right now? Like it's hard, you know. But was it anything like that you look back on where you think, fucking hell, I got away with that there, and fucking, you know, nothing come of it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I played for Cardiff once, and we played Munster. We had a Heineken Cup, and we lost. And I said to Di Young after, I said, "Oh, Di, I want to cite that bloke, whoever he did something to me." And Di goes, "Mike, if I was you, I'd shut up because they could have cited you 6 times." So I was like, "Oh, right, okay." But yeah, no, I think it was a different game then. I don't think, you couldn't get away with it now. I think games. I think the game's gone a bit crazy. Actually, I think it's like the Ireland England game. That guy had a red card, the fullback for England. I mean, that was just, for me, that was ridiculous because he was holding his hand up. He gets a red card for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a contact sport at the end of the day, and
It is, yeah.
accidents happen, and I think it's going a bit silly at times.
It is.
And I think
It's
people are turning off. You know what I mean?
I definitely think, it's frustrating for players, but for people watching, it's just as bad. And what do you think of the new high tackle kind of rule?
Well, high tackles have never been allowed. Do you know what I mean? So, but it's the game now, the way it's documented. I think it's, if you watch a game and you listen to pundits after, all they talk about is a red card, yellow card, referees, sending off or head. It's all negative stuff. So I think we've got to be careful because people are turning away from rugby, and I think I'd hate to see that because it's a game that's given me everything, and there's so many incredible values in the game, and I think we need to talk a bit more about the incredible values of rugby rather than red card, head knocks and all this stuff. And obviously, no one wants to see injuries and head, but there's so much to the game which gives so much to many people at any level. I think it's really important we focus on that. Really,
I agree. Would you ever go into coaching or anything like that? Is there anything you've ever thought of? I know I'm going to go into a few other things that he might want to do in the future, but was there anything you'd ever fancy doing?
well, I'd take £500,000 a year to coach Wales. Yeah, I think
Do you think you could fix some things up there?
I wouldn't have to do much, would I?
So what you're saying is Wales are doing terrible right now, you think? And could you put your finger on what that is?
I think, for me, we've got to look at how we look after and develop young players from 16 to sort of 19. I think I was lucky. I came through a system. It was under 21s then, and I don't know why they got away with it. But under 21s gives you that extra couple of years to develop.
Yeah.
You look at kids now. The youth age has dropped, so when you're 18, you've got to play senior rugby now. So it's all well and good if you're a scrum-half, but if you're a prop, you've got to step up at 18. It's a big
fucking
ask,
step,
you know. So, and then what happens is they step up and they get screwed, and then they don't play again because they're embarrassed, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's silly, really. And that forwards need that extra couple of years development. So yeah, I think that's a massive part of it. And I don't think players, these young kids, they're in these academies, they don't play enough, they don't learn what winning is.
Yeah.
They just get,
Sometimes it's better
can
playing for a fucking club.
Oh yeah, play for the club and learn about what winning is and beating your, local rivals and being in the cup competition and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, we're just churning out good athletes, good professional rugby players, but not winners.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a difference. And you've seen that in the results for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
The regions.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. There's something that I always, ask the question to all the players I've had on is, the regions. If you could turn back the hands of time, or, even have the keys to change stuff now, would you go back to club rugby?
I don't know. Look, we don't have enough depth in Wales, so we had to sort of do something. I don't know. I mean, it's done us. If you look at the last sort of 15 years of what Wales have produced, I mean, we've been a success, but people haven't really taken to the regions as we'd hoped. But I just think probably got to stick with it now. But
it's like
get on with it and move forward. And
I just think like this like Judgment Day and stuff. I don't know. It don't really excite me. Do you know what I mean? Like if Cardiff were playing Swansea and Newport were playing Wrexham in the fucking Cardiff City State, I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm an equally big rugby fan as I am as a football fan.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like there's more. Maybe like you said, there just needs to be more characters in the game. I think that's what it is massively.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, but it's tough for these boys. They don't want to say too much, obviously, because then they get slammed.
Yeah.
So, but
by who? Like who's holding these people accountable? I don't get it.
But characters are just like someone like you mentioned Gavin Ensign was just such a
Mate, I used to have the Gavin Ensign quiff, mate.
Yeah,
like like we all. I loved him.
The guy's a legend. Like he's absolute. What a character. I mean, amazing rugby player. I mean, we were on we were in Poland, training for the World Cup, and halfway through camp, he's allowed to go on The Bachelor.
I was about to say The Bachelor. Remember that?
I was like, looking back now, Gats let him go on The Bachelor, and he's got this laptop, and he's showing us the girls, and we're like, oh yeah, she's nice, but look at him, it's mental. Absolutely.
I remember seeing him in town with the girl he chose. I said, you picked the wrong one, mate. He was like that. She was fuming. Just want to jump in quickly, guys, and let you know that us here at the Central Club podcast, we work really, really hard to give you this content. People think setting up a podcast is just as simple as pressing play on a camera, but it's like a full-time job. And, when I first started this podcast, I promised myself that I wouldn't cut corners. That's all I've ever done in my life is cheat and, get a head start on things. But I always knew that I wanted to start from the ground up with this. And I've made sure that everything is to a high standard. But with that comes a lot of time and a lot of money. And all I ask for you is take out less than 1 second in your life to please press subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Stay central. He's all calm, didn't he? I approached him in the market, I did. He was with his missus.
Yeah.
He was like, I can't, mate, I can't. She was like, I was on about coming on a podcast. She was like, oh, and I got my own pub and now I'm all chilled. And like a totally different guy, like, do you know what I mean? 10 years, you're like, I'll be on it.
Yeah.
He loves that, don't he?
Yeah.
But
I think he's probably quite shy and quite quiet, really, deep down.
was you in that game when he took that tackle in the England game? Was you there?
I was in the squad.
Yeah, what a game that was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, the guy was huge. I mean, I remember going to London. There was a massive picture of him, in middle of Piccadilly, whatever. He was the size of the whole.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The big screen thing.
It's like there's no.
I don't know any other rugby players really like that. You get your Sonny Bill and your Dan Parker and even yourself to an extent, Mike. But there's not many out there like that.
Zamet's on the. I think he's our next.
Yeah,
he is the man. He's Zamet.
He's the kiddie.
Yeah, I like watching him. He's always on a holiday on a boat or something. He's living the life.
Yeah,
it's good. But it's good to see.
It's good to see
having a laugh and enjoying themselves.
Yeah, well, let's we speak about Gavin Ensign and Charlotte Church, but what about Mike Phillips and Duffy, man? Like, where did that come, bro?
Oh yeah.
How did that come about? Where'd you meet her? How did you meet? Put it on her.
You are.
Did you put it on her or what?
Yeah, we just got kind of set up really, and then went up to London. We had a meeting up there, and then we got on really well, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, well, she a nice girl. Like, obviously,
a lovely girl,
she's got a wicked voice. Some iconic songs out there. But what was
Yeah, no, she was a lovely girl. She's I'm sure she still is a lovely girl.
What happened? Why? How did it
We
start?
were together for like 2 years. Had a speedboat offer one Christmas, which was nice.
Fucking hell.
Had to get her a dog in return. But yeah, no, she's a lovely girl. But unfortunately, things didn't work out. But she's a cracking girl, lovely family and stuff. But
where's she from? North Wales, is it?
Yeah.
And what happened? It was you, weren't he? Probably fucking shagging some other bird or something, was you?
No.
On a night out and that.
No, I moved on. I think it wasn't working out. So
Yeah.
Things. That's the way life is.
And when you said like we were set up, why? What by mates, or do you think this is like a publicity stunt where like you were both Welsh?
I think I mentioned it to this guy who's like an agent or something, and
What did you say?
I really like her. Blah blah blah.
Can you find it for me?
No. And then all of a sudden, I'm on a date with her. So
That's mad.
yeah.
I've always wondered what good agents do, and fucking. He linked you up with her. Like, that's mad.
I remember this, in the date. I remember some guy asked me for a photo halfway through. I was loving that. I was like, there's 30 quid, mate. I didn't even set it up.
I've got like I've got a few things here. So the off the field antics. Okay, so the first one is Mike. I could really word to word, but Mike Phillips has been knocked out in town basically.
When?
In 2011, no, 20. One of them's 2011. The other one is, I'll find out now for you. I'm going to read the exact article because I actually know the guy you had a fight with, and I just like to kind of clear this up. Yeah. Okay, so we've got.
I didn't have a fight.
What? It was just a one punch, was it?
I've never had a fight in my life.
Right, so we've got Mike Phillips, Rugby. Okay, so we've got. Wait, where the fuck are these going? No. Oh my God, he's wiped them before he came here.
Who?
You. No, where are they? Right, so we've got one, which is a burger bar. Bounce at 3 a.m. in the morning. So let's go on this one first. So what happened? Yeah, you're with well, you're in town, is it? Cardiff town. And there's a photo of you in a headlock. It was called the Burger Brawl with the bouncer. What happened?
I was outside McDonald's, it was. They've really taken off after.
They were signing his
quite a
autograph.
successful restaurant now. No, look, tried to get in. And all it was, and I was walking away. He mentioned something about the rugby, and I said something back, and then I walked away, and he jumped on my back, and that was it. All I remember is do not retaliate in my head. So then, so that was it. But I was probably in a bit of a bad place at the time because I finished with
Duffy.
And there was probably it was like a combination of things, and I don't blame that guy. I'd never seen him before. I wouldn't. It was my problems, probably going through a bit of being under pressure or whatever. So I should never have been in that position. But so I don't blame all the stuff that I've done. I only blame myself. I don't hold grudges or, it's it's your own faults really.
And is that the same with the time when it says you knocked out in a pool of blood in town? So what happened?
I don't remember that, but I've heard something about it.
You've been told, by friends or something. What happened? Is it what happened then?
Well, I don't know. I think I was speaking to a girl, but I wasn't. I was trying to get away, and then I don't know something. I wasn't even.
Do you think, right? Yeah, looking back at all, do you think that you thought like you was just chocolate and arrogant, and maybe people?
No, I'm
were
not chocolate and arrogant. No, but obviously.
Do you think that people probably thought that of you, that he thinks he's fucking this guy? But
yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah.
Because like you said, you've got to have a bit of that about yourself anyway, like to be that person on the pitch, and
yeah, of course, you are.
You've got to have that, and people off the pitch are gonna, try and test you for that.
I'm totally different as I was on the pitch to off there. I mean, I don't think some people don't get,
Well, to be honest, to me, like you sound like quite I wouldn't say timid, but like, you're quite reserved. But I reckon if he has a pint, like, because you have got that like jokey side about you, I bet when you're pissed, it is a bit fucking like, oh, here we go. Innit? Am I right? Am I right, Mark?
But you gotta, yeah, no. I mean, when I was young, I mean, I'm different now. I'm 40, but yeah, I was pretty wild when I was young. But that's fair enough. But that's you're young, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you just
No, of course.
You do stupid things when you're young, and yeah, rugby is you've got to be physical, and you got to back yourself, and that's part and parcel of the
Of
game.
course, yeah. Other highs and lows, like what was probably the lowest point of your career, would you say, Mike? Apart from lying on the floor, St. Mary's Street with burgers round my head.
Yeah, that was bad. But that actually, though, inspired me massively because I did that, and then I went on to really sort of the World Cup, which I played my best ever rugby. So
Yeah.
I think it's, unfortunately things might happen to you, but you've got to turn them into positives. And, I'm proud of myself that, from that, I know it was a nothing incident really, but I went to the World Cup, played my best rugby. We won the Grand Slam in 2012. We won the Six Nations 2013. So these little moments where you don't understand, where they can have a massive effect on your life and your career, but they're only it was 1 minute of stupidness, but it's how you sort of react and bounce back.
Yeah,
so
that is what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, and shit happens, I suppose.
And when I half of my life was a blur. I was a heroin addict during most of the time, but when I look back, like it seems like when I think of Mike Phillips, like I remember you very early on, and it was as if like you had like a resurgence later on in your career. Would you say that's true? Like, was it a time where
you were on heroin in the middle?
Probably that bit, yeah. No, but was it a time where you weren't really picked as much, and then you like kind of, because you just said then, I was playing my best time at that time. Was there times where
No, not really.
maybe you weren't getting picked, or you was injured, or
No, from 2008 I was getting picked all the time.
Okay.
So
it was
no,
definitely
at the start,
heroin then?
at the start of it I wasn't picked, and then from when Gats came in, he was like, he picked me all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I was a bit older, and I think when you're young as a scrum half, you want to make breaks. You're thinking about yourself a bit more. But as you get older, I think I played my better stuff when I was perhaps a bit slower, and you're thinking more about the team. And, it's as a 9 and 10, your job is to make everyone else around you look good. It's not about you, but as a youngster, you're trying to force it too much. So yeah, when I was 28, 29, you kind of realize you know what the role is, so you kind of mature a bit more. So yeah.
Do you think it differentiates with each professional? But do you think there's a certain cap off age where people should retire? Like, would you have wished you had more years in yourself? Or when you look at Alan Wynne and stuff, do you think that's just an abnormal, like that's abnormal? Or
Yeah, I retired because I didn't want to be on the field and have youngsters running past me, or not
wind you up?
Well, no, it's not about not being the player you once were. Do you know what I mean? And you want to be your best product on the field. So I could have played for another year or whatever, but I wouldn't have been, the very peak of what I could do. Yeah. So I thought, and I had a bit of a hip operation. I need a hip operation, so that was a bit of a problem. But yeah, so you want to be, you want to be your best, possibly best you can be on the field, and everyone has a shelf life, even coaches. So you have your period, and you just got to move on.
And what would you say that age would be like when you want to start asking those questions of
Well, everyone's different, I suppose. If Alan Wynne is still producing the goods as he did when he was 27, that's that's the key, isn't it? So it's what's you doing. It's what you, because all the numbers are there, all the stats, all the statistics. Everyone knows, how far you've run, how many tackles, how many. So as long as he's doing the same as what he did 5 years ago, then fair enough.
Yeah. What do you think of Rhys Webb?
Oh, he's good,
Yeah. Honest question. Like, as a scrum half.
Yeah, well, I think Reece was probably the next after me, and I think unfortunately we've missed his best years,
Yeah.
which is sad, really. But great player. You know, yeah. Unfortunately, he went to France, and we didn't pick him for a couple of years when he was next in line after me, and he was a top talent, but he should have had more caps, really.
And, we've spoken of how highly you put Gatland. Do you think that was a good move, bringing him back?
I think when we had him in 2008, I think he was the best man on the planet for us. I mean, he'd been in Ireland, he'd been sort of embarrassed in Ireland. I think they got rid of him, but he'd had international experience. Then he went to Wasps. He was successful in Wasps, and then he came to Wales. And I think we had him. He was young. He was fresh. He wanted to be a success, and I think he was amazing. It's good for him now, personally. He's making lots of money. He's for him personally, it's a great decision. But is he the right guy? I'd probably say no, because I think everyone has a period of time. He was good for the period he was here, and then you move on. Like players, same as players. You have your time, and you can't play forever. And Gats was exceptional for so many years, but I think I just question why is he here? Is it more about money? And if it's more money, then is that the right thing? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. Where do you think that we will kind of place in the next World Cup?
I think if we beat Portugal, we've done quite well. Well, I don't know. I think look, we all want Wales to be a success. I mean, and hopefully they can do the business. But we've got an easier side to the draw. So there's a chance of kicking on after the quarterfinals, really. So and hopefully we can if we get to the semi-final, that'll be a massive achievement, I think.
You've been in some of those big games and stuff. What does it take to get to that final? Do you think? What do you think it's going to take?
Balls. I think it takes a lot of confidence. I think like we talked about before, characters. You need big characters, big games. You need to back yourself. You need to believe in yourself. You got to think that you are the best in the world, and I think whether you are or not, that's irrelevant. But you got to believe it in your own head, and we have got world class players in Wales. And I think if we can get them all on the same page, playing a nice brand of rugby, which is quick and suits us, I think we got a chance.
And sorry, if I said fly off, our 2, 3, 4, 5 talisman we got, who comes to mind to you? Who are world class?
Zamet.
Zamet and Zamet.
I did text him. I've never met him actually, but I've texted him and said, "Oh well, mate, you're the next Mike Phillips, so you got a lot of pressure on your shoulders."
Did he reply?
Yeah, he loves it. I think
Just Zamet. Literally.
Thomas Williams is good. Hopefully we can bring through.
Yeah, so there's nothing at the moment. Like literally, if I was back at your era, I'd be saying Phillips, fucking Wyn Jones. I'd be, Falatau. I'm just saying all these names. You've literally just told me one and said hopefully we'll get some coming through then. Which is fucking that's worrying for me, mate. Us, I should say.
Yeah, well, I don't know. No comment.
Well, how have you adapted to life after rugby? You're out in Dubai now. What are you doing exactly?
So I met my missus we moved over there 5-6 years ago. 2 boys born there. Do some business development stuff really for a couple of companies.
So they're Saudi nationals.
Huh?
Dubai and Saudi, are they the same? So they're nationals now. Man, that's mad, isn't it?
No, they got British
Passports.
Yeah, I've actually
But technically,
I've guaranteed international rugby for my boys. If they do want to play international rugby, I've guaranteed it because my wife is French Moroccan. So if they're world class, they obviously play for Wales. If they're a bit shit, they play for France. If they're really shit, they can play for
big
Morocco.
Morocco. Would you want your kids to play?
Morocco.
Would you want your kids to play rugby?
For Morocco, yeah.
Not really.
I don't know. It's up to them. I really worry for the game. I don't know. The game is.
That's sad that you sat here saying that is sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is sad because, I live down there in West Wales and, they struggle to get teams and it's all this kind of stuff and it's only going to get worse. You know what I mean? It is sad. I don't know. For the reasons that we've already spoken about, I think it is sad. But yeah, my boy actually turned to me the other day and said, "Oh, Daddy, I want to play rugby like you did." I'm like, "All the best, son. Pick another sport, is it?" I've done that one. But no, if they want to play the game, great. But I'll just back them. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So what businesses you got out there, then, mate? Anything you want to plug?
No, not really.
Okay, we'll keep that shush. Yeah, fuck it, innit? You're doing your public speaking and that, though. Obviously, you're over here now doing a couple of that. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah,
I can't imagine what you're like, though, because you're quite, again, it's hard to get, sometimes, do you just spin it out, or do you, how do you do your talks? What, do you have, a screen with, a video and say, this is me, and...
No, I'm brilliant. It's really good. People love it.
Fucking hell. He definitely needs his money worth to talk, don't he?
I do enjoy it. I do try to make people laugh, and that gives you a bit of a buzz. And
Do you have a drink, innit?
yeah.
Whilst you're doing it?
Yeah. I've just been up North Wales now. Yeah, they love me. Love me up there.
Fair play.
No, I do enjoy it. It's a bit of a buzz, and something I'm trying to develop, I suppose. But yeah, it's good fun. The best thing about it, you meet, the people you meet on the way, and every rugby club and places got amazing characters, and
they've all got a place. They all got a memory of you that sticks in their mind as well, I bet, innit?
Yeah, well, I suppose, and it's just nice to meet people and like I say, meet characters, and whatever club you go, there's always the idiot and the funny guy, and the drunken guy, and it's brilliant. So I quite enjoy that. I do like meeting people and getting about.
Yeah. Would you ever think about doing celebrity boxing?
Well, it depends when I'm fighting.
Well, I think it's massive now, isn't it? Like this era of YouTube fights and fucking TikTok boxers, and it probably does fucking. We've said it before. It probably rips a piss out with the ones who really do it professionally.
Deck, I'll do it. Yeah.
Anton Deck. Yeah, no, I reckon you should. I reckon you should do some box. We could do a little promotion. Me and Mark, we'll set our own promotion up and get some fights on you.
Yeah.
No, I think stuff like that. Why not? Innit? People love that shit.
Yeah. How much do I get paid?
We'll have to talk about that off the camera.
But who am I fighting? That's the big thing.
Tommy Robinson.
Who's that? Who's that?
He's a guest we had on here who was fighting on our show.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah, but we some good guests. We'll get you someone.
What about
Definitely.
the Archbishop? I'll fight him.
Yeah.
I'll back myself.
You fucking battered him. I don't know, actually, mate. Oh no, I was about to say he walks home, but he catches buses, don't he?
I'll back myself against him.
Yeah, shout out to Rowan, man. Good guy, man.
Yeah, no. He probably would beat me, actually.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, listen. I think, in my eyes, I think Wales are doomed. To be honest, for the next 5 years, I would say. I think, yeah, we've got like you said, we've got Lewis Rees Samet. I think it'll be one of those things for the next couple of years where it's like Steven Gerrard and everyone around him is just garbage, like type of thing. Look, I think we have got some decent players, but it just doesn't seem to come to fruition as a team.
Yeah. Well, it all stems from the regions as well. So you can't you've got to have you've got to be competitive and you've got to have that edge. And from that, I think I played for the Ospreys and we won the league and we were competing in Europe and I think regional rugby was when GATS came in, for example. We had we were quite competitive and now none of the regions are really doing particularly
well.
great, and I think it stems from that. So it's just so important to nurture what winning is as club level, and get players understanding what winning's all about, and and then you can, because to step up to international rugby is massive. So you can't just turn it on.
Yeah.
So boys are going to learn what it takes to win. If they're not winning for their region, they can't just turn it on for Wales.
No, I definitely agree.
So
what was it like for you as well, playing in those regional games? Like one thing I've always spoke about is like when the Blues were playing at the Cardiff City Stadium and you got like 100 people in this big fucking ground.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good for fucking the sport. It's not good for you guys as well. You want to play in a fucking in a stadium that's fucking quite.
Yeah, of course.
Popping. You like, look at them. From going from club level to them playing international in the Millennium is very bipolar, and it's like I just feel like I don't know. It's like something needs to be injected into this regions to make it more exciting and to bring people more bums on seats, because it's just dead. That's how I feel about it. Like, and it's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what they do with the this time of year now, you have all the finals in the Millennium Stadium, which is great. So they got to keep the community games massive, and because that's where players come from. It's so important that we keep the grassroots game, thriving. But I found out this week that you're not allowed to play a community game when internationals are on, which for me is just absolutely stupid.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
You play the game, and then you're going to be in the club. The club's going to be booming because it's busy and everyone's packed and everyone's watching the game, Wales game. So I just
that's what they've changed it to now. Like my brother and I still plays for Fairwood, and that's what it is. If there's an international game, there's no game on. But that was unheard of before, because everyone will still be watching that game after the fucking rugby.
You can still play the game before, and then everyone's happy. The club is booming. Club's making money. Everyone's happy. So I don't know. I don't understand that.
Yeah. Well, they've just had who's just took over WRU now. What's his name? The black player. Who? Not who? Nigel Walker. That's the one. He reckons he's gonna shake it up a bit, but there's fucking loads of debt in. There's loads of debt and stuff in WRU, innit? Do you know what I mean? So, we'll see what happens.
We need you there, mate.
What?
You need to be coaching.
Fuck off. Yeah, right. Probably do.
What
better.
would you do then?
Hey, listen, I don't know. I would. What if I was coach, or if I was part of WRU?
WRU. Yeah.
If I was WRU, like I've always been hellbound on this fucking just getting rid of regional. I just love the club idea. Like, do you know what I mean? Cardiff against Swansea, or what was it like? It was like fucking Neath against fucking Cardiff. When I interviewed Di Bishop, you got Pontypool versus Cardiff. Like these things, like Yeah. Neil Jenkins playing for Pontypridd now. Like it just brings in more. You've got heroes in each club then as well. I think naturally it's more competition. I just think you will bring up more talented players from that. I think. I don't know. That's my general feeling on it. I feel when they went to region, there was a massive uproar, and of course nobody likes change. Of course there was going to be that. Oh, what's all this about? But I think there would be more rich pickings from it. I know you said we're lacking in depth, but I think the more opportunity you get. And I think that's good for all walks around as well. Because you think about it, if a kid's got an opportunity, or a lad who's quite a decent player got an opportunity to play against Mike Phillips on a Saturday night against, in a fucking cup match, you're encouraging more people to play as well.
Yeah, but I think it was brought in because in Europe, I think those teams were getting
Hammered.
beaten quite easily, and I think, do you know what I mean? I'll go. So in 2013 or 14, we played a game, probables versus possibles.
Okay.
So you think about it, it's the best two teams they could have picked in Wales, and okay, they overloaded this one team, which was mainly the first team for Wales, and then against the second team technically, and we won by 60 points. That shouldn't happen. Like, do you know what I mean? It should that game should have been close, and that's two teams. So
Yeah, but you're not you're not all playing for Pontypridd, are you? Like, you're always you might have one or two stars in the fucking. You said Llanelli was your team. You might have 3 or 4 of you there. You'd have fucking 5 of you in. I'm not saying have a league of like 20 teams of like Abercombe fuck me versus fuck. I'm on about like, you had like Pontypridd, Pontypool, Newport. Like, I just like the fact of Cardiff Rugby instead of Cardiff Blues. Like, I just feel like even the selling out of the names and stuff is just fucking sad. I would go back to there, right? And I would make sure, right, that there was characters in each fucking club. Yeah, right? I would morph them into characters. I think this, like you said, is too PC now, I think. And another thing, I think, as well, and this is nothing against them, like, but I've said it before, but you was probably one of them. That's why you got knocked out one time. Like, but you got a lot of these players, right? You walk like the Cardiff ones, especially Cardiff Rugby. They walk around the city centre like they're untouchable, and they're getting beat week in, week out. But they think they're they need humbling. I think a bit like, and
how are they walking around then?
they think they're the kiddies. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like
They think they're yeah. All that. No, I just think like, I think you was probably the predecessors of this, you and Gavin Ensign and people like that. But now a lot of them think they're fucking celebrities and that, and they think they're the kiddies, but they're getting beat week in, week out. I think they need a bit of humbling. Do you think I'm on a different planet?
Get into it, man.
Get into it, man. So that's my opinion anyway. But yeah, it is what it is. So how long you in Wales for now?
Another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a couple of speaking gigs. Going to Beyonce this week.
Are you? Oh yeah, it's going to be sick, I don't know.
So sing a few songs with her, and then.
What do you enjoy it over in Dubai? Or what is it like? Because it's meant to be the place to be right now, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, it is good. Settled there now, and bought a couple of properties there, so it feels more like home. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, well,
yeah, so
you could get into that celebrity boxing because it's all happening over there at the moment as well, with all different people fighting.
If I'm fighting on deck, happy days. But
deck, I would say, Ant's a bit small for you. No, Anthony, yeah, deck's a bit small, mate. Fucking hell.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, listen, it's been good having a chat with you, mate.
Top man.
Thank
you for having me.
Anything you'd like to say? We do say, like, before you do go, we do ask for a final message off to the people. But is there anything else you'd like to get off your chest? Anything, Mark? You think?
No, just thank you to the fans.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you're not done there, right? What I want now is, right, I want down there a public apology to the bouncer. No, I'm joking. All I want, right, Mike, is a nice little message to the people, maybe some kids. Grow.
Stuck on 99 caps. Gutted into next 100.
Yeah. Is there any way Matt Gatz would have you back for a fucking? I'm sure you do well, better than some of them.
Nah, he doesn't speak to me anymore.
What do you mean he don't speak to you anymore?
Oh, he's too. He's up there in the clouds, isn't he?
See, even you have retired from Wales Rugby, and you think they're this fucking. They're untouchable. Do you know what I mean?
Pardon? No, they didn't pick me.
You weren't on the bench.
No, I was only good enough for 99 caps.
That's bad. Even I thought you, out of everyone, would have been quite meticulous about that, innit? I need to get my 100 caps.
Yes and no, really. But not really. Not really. No, I think you make decisions when you're young, which are perhaps poor, but as long as you, like I said before, as long as you learn and everyone makes bad decisions, but you live and you learn from that. You move on, and you can't really look back with regrets. I got two young boys. I love them to bits, and that's what life's about. I want to be the best dad I could possibly be, and that's my goal, really.
And just to any young generation out there looking, bit of inspiration maybe to get into rugby maybe, or just a lesson in life. Down the camera, Mike.
Down the camera. Yeah, if you want to play for Wales, go on YouTube, watch my highlights, and that's the inspiration.
He's a fucking idiot. He is an absolute fucker.
Oh, thanks to the Welsh. I love if I can say thank you to all the Welsh fans over the years. I mean, it's been emotional. It's been good, and I've always had nice things said. Fans have always been amazing and very supportive, and from day one really, which has been cool.
No, that's good. I'm glad you quickly said that. Thank you very much, Mike, for coming. Honestly,
cheers.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a good laugh.
Thank you,
guys. Go and follow Mike Phillips on social media. He's always got his tats out on the beach, throwing football boots up in the air and that. Go and follow him. Any plugs you want to give you for some of his events? I know they are meant to be a good laugh. Actually, I'm not going to lie. Any dates pending?
Race day coming up.
When?
Race day, Chepstow.
Race days at the Chepstow. Go and see him. But I assume you take
anyone who wants to book.
Yeah, he does bookings and that as well. So if anyone,
I do birthdays, funerals.
Yeah, anyone want to go and book Mike Phillips? Obviously, reach out to Mark Gallagher on Facebook or the events room. Yeah, events room. You could try and DM Mike as well if you got the time to answer. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. You know what to do. Stay central.